Thinking about setting up a self-managed super fund? Well, you're not alone. More and more Australians are looking for greater control over their retirement savings, and an SMSF can offer just that. But before you jump in, it's important to understand how they work, what's involved, and whether it's the right fit for you. In this video, we're going to break it all down. Firstly, what is an SMSF? Well, if you want a cake, you can choose from many of the pre-made options available, or you can bake one yourself. An SMSF is the cake that you choose to make yourself. It's a private superannuation fund that you manage. Unlike retail or industry funds, you're the trustee and the decision maker. You control the investments, the insurance, the compliance, and the responsibilities. In other words, you get to decide how much icing goes on this cake. This flexibility is powerful, but it also comes with significant obligations. An SMSF isn't for everyone. In fact, most people can achieve their goals with an off-the-shelf super fund. But there are some who may want to consider an SMSF, especially those who want access to investments not typically available in public offer funds, for example, direct property, private assets, collectibles, all within the ATO rules, of course. For those who have time or the right support team to manage the admin and compliance, and for those who hold a reasonable super balance where they might benefit from some overhead fixed costs rather than more variable style costs. In our experience, SMSFs are most often suitable for investors who want to buy direct property or business owners looking to purchase their own commercial premise. So how much do you need to start a self-managed super fund? Well, technology is steadily reducing the cost of setting up and operating an SMSF. Because of this, we place more emphasis on the why you want to have an SMSF rather than how much it costs. If your why is strong, you can usually justify the cost. Having said that, if we had to give you a ballpark, we typically suggest a minimum balance of over $250,000 where the costs and effort start to make sense. So on the topic of costs, what are the costs involved? Well, the costs are going to vary depending on who you engage and whether you opt for an individual or a corporate trustee. Setup costs generally range between $1,000 and $2,000 as a one-off type fee. Then there are the ongoing costs, which depend largely on the complexity of your fund's assets. This table breaks down some of the costs and the typical price range that you're looking at per year. If you've decided that an SMSF is the right step for you, well, here's a little guide as to some of the key steps that you need to take to get the fund started. Step 1 is choose your members. An SMSF can have 1 to 6 members. These members can be related, but they don't have to be. We recommend only including people you're building your long-term retirement plans with. Step 2 is choose your trustees. Each member must be either an individual trustee or a director of the corporate trustee. For single-member self-managed super funds, you need a corporate trustee with you as the sole director or 2 individual trustees, including 1 non-member. We usually recommend a corporate trustee for its added flexibility and better succession planning. Step 3 is to create the fund. You'll need to establish a trustee to govern your SMSF's operations. Off-the-shelf deeds are available, but they may need tailoring. You also need to register the self-managed super fund with the ATO within 60 days and apply for an ABN and TFN for the fund. A qualified professional can help with this process. Step 4, open up a bank account. The SMSF needs its own bank account for receiving contributions, paying expenses, and holding your cash buffer. It must be opened in the name of the trustee as trustee for the fund. Step 5, update your employer. If you want your employer contributions to be paid into the SMSF, provide your employer with the fund details. This typically involves completing a superannuation fund nomination form. Step 6, roll over your super. You can request to roll your existing super balances into your newly established SMSF. But before doing this, carefully consider what benefits you might lose, particularly personal insurances like life, TPD, and income protection. If you do have existing insurance and you still need insurance, you can either arrange replacement cover within the SMSF before rolling over or retain sufficient funds in your existing super account to maintain the existing cover. In the second instance, you'll need to submit an election form to retain insurance if contributions will no longer be made into that fund. Step 7, start investing. As trustee, you must create and document an investment strategy that aligns with your fund's objectives. Investments must be made in line with this strategy. And step 8, keep up with the compliance. Each year, your SMSF must meet a number of compliance obligations, including financial reporting, annual audits, and ATO requirements. So, setting up and operating an SMSF is achievable, but most trustees typically elect to work with financial advisors, accountants, and SMSF administrators to help them stay on track. An SMSF can be a great tool for the right person, but it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all solution. If your goal is to invest in a diversified portfolio of low-cost ETFs, you may be better off doing this within a wrap platform. It offers much of the same flexibility without the compliance burden. But if you're a business owner looking to buy a commercial property or you're passionate about direct property investments, an SMSF might be the right fit for you. It's a strategy that we can explore during phase 2 and beyond of the wealth creation process. If you think a self-managed super fund is an appropriate strategy for you, we strongly recommend you speak with your financial advisor. They can help assess the appropriateness for your particular situation. Please note, the information contained in this video is generally in nature only and does not take into consideration your objectives, financial situation, or needs. As legislation is constantly changing, the accuracy of this information is only current as at the time of recording. Before relying on the information, you should check to see if the content is still